Bon après-midi, good afternoon. Welcome to this fourth press conference in the context of the plenary session of the CCCB. Bienvenue à ce quatrième point de presse de la Conférence des évêques catholiques du Canada en assemblée plénière. Ce matin, nous avons commencé d'une façon tout à fait spéciale. Très de bonne heure, à 7 heures, nous étions rassemblés pour célébrer la liturgie eucharistique selon le rite byzantin, ukrainien. Nous célébrons le 100e anniversaire cette année de l'arrivée du premier évêque ukrainien. The first Ukrainian bishop to come to Canada, Blessed Nikita Budka, arrived 100 years ago, and as part of the celebrations around that this morning, we started by celebrating the Divine Liturgy in the Byzantine Rite with our Ukrainian brother bishops here in Canada. It was quite a beautiful celebration. This afternoon, the plenary session focused on financial issues, which finances are good, let's put it that way. Things are working well at the CCCB right now. We spent a good chunk of time, I could say, with our theology, our doctrinal commission, leading us in reflection on religious freedom, freedom of conscience here in Canada. Plusieurs savent que la Conférence des évêques catholiques du Canada, nous avons publié récemment une lettre sur la liberté de conscience et la liberté religieuse. Et c'est dans ce contexte-là que nous avons voulu continuer une réflexion et un échange. We had a guest speaker, Dr. Ian Benson, who is a constitutional lawyer who specializes in issues dealing with religion, freedom of religion, in not only in Canada but throughout the world. And he came to speak to us about some judicial concepts, concerns that he has around issues of a definition of secularity, definitions of religion within the courts, and the place and what is going on within the court settings on issues of religious freedom. So it was quite enlightening for us to be able to receive this information and share some insights in these areas. This morning, the French sector had its morning off, and it was the turn of the English sector to work together. Hier, le secteur français a travaillé pendant que le secteur anglais se reposait, mais ce matin, c'était le tour au secteur anglais de travailler. I have with me as a guest Bishop Douglas Crosby, who's the Bishop of Hamilton, who's also a member of the executive of the CCCB as a co-treasurer. He was present at the session this morning, and Doug, perhaps you could share with us a bit of some of the conversation this morning at the English sector.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here and to have this opportunity. The English sector, of course, is one of the two sectors of the Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops. And this morning, when we gather each plenary, we reflect on the work of the English sector, primarily around catechesis and around liturgy. And of course, these have their financial implications, and we also reflect on the finances of the English sector as well. So we receive reports from other organizations that are supported by the English sector, but the two main focuses are catechesis and liturgy. So, one of the major works of the past year has been the implementation of the third edition of the Roman Missal in English. And so we had a little bit of a report on how that implementation has been going. And some of the struggles around it, but also some of the joys and the great appreciation for the new liturgy. And let me say this: that the implementation has gone quite smoothly, and I think everyone has been very, very pleased and impressed by that. So that was an important focus. And now looking forward to other translations that are in process, the translation of the ritual lectionary, the translation of the Book of the Gospels, the translation of the rite for marriage, the translation of the rite of confirmation. All of these are in the works, and so we were getting reports and having discussions around basically around timing of those important projects for the life of the church.
And for issues around catechesis?
Yes. We had a very unfortunate situation in the National Office for Religious Education. The director died unexpectedly, and so the office has been vacant. And however, the work of the national office has continued, and under the direction of Father Bill Burke. And so we're looking at some of the work like the publication and implementation of a very important work called On Good Soil. So that work is out there, and it deals with the criteria for catechesis and assists people working in the area of catechesis throughout the country. Also looking at other catechetical materials that are used in various dioceses and how we might proceed at the national level. So the discussion is far-ranging, and I would say it's very important for the life of the diocese at the fundamental level, because when we talk about new evangelization, that's where it's done, and that's where it happens, in the parishes and in the homes of our parishioners.
Thank you very much, Bishop Crosby. J'aimerais continuer en faisant remarquer que ce soir, nous avons une réception spéciale à la CECC pour deux cardinaux canadiens, un qui prend sa retraite et un qui commence sa vie de cardinal. Évidemment, celui qui vient de prendre sa retraite, c'est le cardinal Jean-Claude Turcotte de Montréal. Alors, il est venu ce soir. Nous avons un vin d'honneur en son honneur. Nous aurons le souper. Et ensuite, il passera la soirée avec nous. Et cette soirée est une soirée traditionnelle parmi les évêques du Canada. Chaque fois qu'on se rencontre, on a ce temps entre évêques très informel où on présente les nouveaux évêques qui ont été nommés, qui ont été ordonnés durant l'année. C'est pas tout à fait un rite d'initiation, mais il y a beaucoup d'humour et beaucoup de fraternité dans ce moment-là. This evening, we're having a special reception for two Canadian cardinals. I mentioned in French an outgoing cardinal, Cardinal Jean-Claude Turcotte from Montreal. But we have a new cardinal, the Cardinal of Toronto, Thomas Collins. And so in his honor also this evening, we are spending some time. We're having a special wine and cheese right now, followed by supper, formal supper. And then there will be an evening of some recollection, reminiscing, and perspectives. And also a great tradition within the conference is we take time to welcome the new bishops, those who were ordained during the year. It's not a very rigorous initiation, but there is a lot of kidding, and it's very friendly. So this is what we will be doing for the rest of the evening. I'd like to open it to questions. Je ne sais pas s'il y a des questions à ce moment-ci.
Bishops, thank you both for taking time out of the wine and cheese party to come and speak with us. We really appreciate it. I have a question about the Religious Freedom and Liberty pastoral letter that came out earlier this year from the CCCB. I know there's some discussion about it today. I was wondering if there was some reflection among the bishops on how it was received, and if there was also some discussion on ways of ensuring that something like a pastoral letter really gets down to the parish level and the people.
Those are very good questions. That was not the focus of our discussion this afternoon, though I think listening to these questions, we should be reflecting more on them. This afternoon, what we focused on more was what is the situation right now in Canada. And as I was explaining earlier, some of the underlying juridical notions that are tied to some of the decisions that are being made right now that we find sometimes strange, hard to understand. particularly what we've noticed, what was explained to us is a narrowing of the concept of religion in some judicial decisions, that religion is basically a very private affair and is even reduced to simply the creed, that ethics, morals have no place within a legal definition of religion, which is a very reductionist view of religion. So what we were discussing more were those kinds of judicial, philosophical issues so that we ourselves could better understand what is going on. The issue you raise, which is one of communication, is one that we need to address and continue to reflect upon.
Oui, moi aussi, c'est par rapport à la lettre sur la liberté de conscience. Quels échos vous avez eus de cette lettre? Quel retour?
Au niveau de la conférence, les retours ont été en général positifs, dans le sens que nous avons eu beaucoup de lettres de félicitations, beaucoup de commentaires qui nous disent de continuer dans ce sens-là, que c'est une lettre, une intervention qui était importante. Évidemment, c'est toujours, et ça revient à une discussion que nous avons eue hier dans le secteur français, c'est la voix des évêques est-elle entendue dans le monde qu'on pourrait dire non croyant, ou pour reprendre l'expression de M. Benson cet après-midi, tout le monde est croyant, mais il y a des foi qui sont religieuses et d'autres qui ne le sont pas. Alors, dans ce monde de la croyance non religieuse, comment la voix des évêques est-elle perçue, comment résonne-t-elle? Ça, c'est une autre question. Alors, ça revient un peu à la question qui m'a été posée en anglais. Comment ces prises de parole-là, comment ces lettres pastorales-là peuvent-elles être reçues, annoncées, distribuées, tant au niveau que des paroisses, des paroissiens ordinaires, que de ce monde journalistique, ce monde des médias. Mais je peux dire que, en général, la lettre, de la part de ceux qui l'ont lue, elle est très bien reçue et appréciée.
The bishops had the chance to watch Kateri film, Blessed Kateri Tekakwitha film last night. I was just wondering if you had a chance to speak with some of your brother bishops who were there and what their impression was of this Salt and Light production that will be coming out at the time of the canonization in October.
We had it was a wonderful evening. We had the privilege of seeing the rough cut of Kateri. It's not I don't think it's complete, but it's close to complete. I think they're doing the final, what would you say, editing as we speak. It's a beautiful and moving film, and I think it really will help people understand who is this young saint that is being canonized, and why her? What kind of impact has she had on not only the Aboriginal community, but on the church in Canada, and what kind of impact might she have into the future? The movie was I was personally very deeply moved by it, and I really commend Salt and Light for the publication, or what do we call it, for the production of the movie. It's excellent.
If I may add, one of the comments that I heard from a number of bishops was the connection between the life of Kateri and the lives of people today. In particular, I mean, the life of the boy who was cured through the intercession of Kateri. We see him and his family's journey. That is quite stunning. But also the journey of a resident of Akwesasne, a young Mohawk man who is retracing her journey from where she grew up to Ganawake, and doing wood burning on a drum hoop, and his own reflection on who she is for him as he struggles with his own infirmities. So the film is done in a way that connects the past to the present, so that you really feel as if the story of Kateri is a very modern story, and it's a very beautiful one. So I echo Bishop Crosby's sentiments. I also congratulate Salt and Light for a wonderful production. One final question?
Yes, one final question. On the topic of Kateri, what are there any events that the CCCB is planning around the canonization to celebrate the canonization, to raise awareness? And is anything being planned in conjunction with the U.S. bishops, given that Kateri is a saint that both countries can lay claim to?
I should have invited our other co-treasurer to be with us. Bishop Lionel Gendron is the Bishop of Saint-Jean-Longueuil, in which is Kahnawake, and so he's deeply involved with the whole process. In fact, the CCCB has set up a secretariat for pilgrims to Rome for the canonization and has been coordinating that work. And we also have helped plan in Rome a vigil the night before where the movie will be shown to the pilgrims for the first time, as well as a Mass of Thanksgiving at St. John Lateran Basilica, which is the Cathedral of Rome, which will allow Canadians to gather as a group. It's been difficult to coordinate with the American delegation, so both delegations are doing, you could say, their own thing, though they will all be present, obviously, at the canonization. Now, the canonization also, there are 6 other saints being canonized at the same time, so obviously Kateri is one of 7, but the Canadian delegation is quite strong. I've heard over 1,500 pilgrims from Canada will be attending the event. Here in Canada, 2 things to commemorate. On the week after, on the octave, the parishes in Canada will be invited to celebrate that Sunday, a special day of recognition of our Native people, of reconciliation and of thanksgiving for the Native people and their gift to the whole Canadian Church and Canadian society. That is one thing that we hope will happen in all the parishes across Canada. And the second thing will be on the 4th of November, on the Sunday afternoon, at St. Joseph's Oratory. There will be a Mass of Thanksgiving that will be presided, I believe, by Cardinal Turcotte, actually. And it is the people of the parish of Kahnawake who have asked that it be held there because there's no way they can gather 6,000 people at their little chapel there. So it will be held at the oratory. But if anybody is hearing this and says, oh, I should go, you will need tickets to get in. And so you need to contact the Diocese of Saint-Jean-Longueuil. So,
as well, just there is an event at the Martyrs' Shrine on the day of the canonization, the 21st. They're going to have an event there as well
in Midland,
in Midland, Ontario. That's right.
Wonderful. Alors, je veux juste répéter la dernière information qui pourrait être d'intérêt pour nos auditeurs, nos auditrices francophones. C'est que il y aura une messe d'action de grâce pour la canonisation de Kateri à Montréal, à l'Oratoire Saint-Joseph, le 4 novembre dans l'après-midi. Mais à cause de l'affluence, il faudra avoir un billet et on peut réserver les billets auprès du diocèse de Saint-Jean-Longueuil. Alors voilà, je vous remercie pour votre présence et demain, le dernier point de presse qui mettra fin aux activités de cette plénière sera animé par le président de la conférence, Monseigneur Richard Smith. So tomorrow, our president, Archbishop Richard Smith, will be leading this press conference to close our plenary. Thank you very much. Bon après-midi.